Hi, Josh Fader back again, this time with Dr. Ricki Robinson, who wrote the book Autism Solutions, How to Create a Healthy and Meaningful Life for Your Child. Ricki, give us a pearl from your book.
Thank you, Josh. It's so great to be with everybody today. One of the chapters in my book is titled Behavior as Communication. And I put it there purposely because I wanted us to get away from the idea of behaviors being bad behaviors or good behaviors, and really looking at what the child is telling us when they are exhibiting behavior. What is behind that behavior? And we know that kids with autism have huge sensory challenges. And so when we think about that, we're usually thinking about the environmental challenge, what's going on, what's coming through the ears and the eyes and the touch and all of that. But there's another sense, which we call the interoceptive sense. It's kind of a long word, but it's how you feel your body. And so it's how you know if you're hungry, how you know if you're sleepy, how do you know if you're experiencing pain. And this sense is, I believe, in kids with autism, often the most difficult one for them to understand. And so when something is going wrong in their body, they don't know what's going on. They haven't communicated to us, so we can't demystify for them like we can when they get a boo-boo and we say, you've got a boo-boo. And their anxiety rate raises because of it, like all of us would if we didn't know what was going on. And with that anxiety comes becomes much more like a fight or flight reaction. And what do we see? We see these untoward behaviors. And so depending upon the child's profile, they can become more withdrawn, all the way to having outbursts, to even self-abusive behavior. Instead of our looking at it and saying, oh my gosh, this is a behavior we have to get rid of, what we need to do is say, this is a behavior we have to understand. What is it doing for the child? And we become a detective, we put our detective hats on, and in my field, the first thing that I look for is a medical issue that is unresolved. And in my book, I have several examples of this, but it's the key pearl here is use these behaviors as the child communicating to you that something might not be right. And that will lead you down the right path.
Thank you so much, Ricki. Can you give us a quick example?
Yes. So I think you just asked me if I had an example. Okay. So let me tell you about one of the young ladies that I knew from the time she was 3. And when she turned 14, I got a call from mom that suddenly, over the previous several months, her behavior had become nearly uncontrollable, that she would have fits of screaming and yelling and crying and laughing, that she wasn't sleeping at night and she might sleep during the day, so she was getting totally dysregulated, and that this was happening over the period of months, and each month it was getting a little bit more out of control with each month. And she did have some periods in between when she wasn't having this. When mom finally called me, she was really incredibly concerned and frightened because her daughter had started attacking family members for the first time. She just didn't know what was happening. So I had her come in and we sat down and I talked with her. Now she uses augmentative communication, extremely bright young woman who is now at the top of her class in college. And what she said to me was that she had no idea what was happening, that her life was out of control, and that she was afraid she was dying. And so I took more history, and it turned out that she was having these episodes between her menstrual cycles, and that it would be incredibly painful, but she couldn't localize the pain, and that she just got so concerned that this meant that she was dying, that led to everything else that was happening. So I suggested to her that maybe what was happening is what we in medicine called Mittelschmerz, which really is the ovulation that occurs between periods, and that a lot of women experience this. And I said to her, and this is just normal. And she responded to me, you mean I'm normal about something? Which was just so touching. But I said, in the first place, you're not dying. This is Mittelschmerz. This is how we're going to deal with it. It's very easy to deal with. And I could just see her anxiety level from up here calming down. She became very quiet, followed along. She said, if I'm not dying, I'll do whatever we need to do. And that demystification was all that she needed. And what struck me right there, Josh, was this is the girl, and you and I both know this. If mom had taken her to an emergency room or taken to her doctor who didn't have the developmental DIR approach that we have in our practices, she could have been put on a very heavy duty antipsychotic medication because of the behavior she was trying to calm it down. That would have totally derailed her progress, and who knows where we would have been. So this is an example where just recognizing that the behavior is communicating that something wasn't right, figuring out what might not be right, solving the problem for the child, which in this case was medically related, but it just as easily could be something going on at school. It could be something that they're fearful of, any number of things, but finding out what it is, taking care of it allows our children to continue to make the progress that they need to make.
Ricki, thank you so much. It's wonderful hearing from you. Have a great day.
Thank you, and good luck with this whole program. So excited.
Thank you.